Welcome back, friends. So this is part two of that mini series about that little swarm that I caught last year in April 2024. After I scooped a handful of bees and put them into the 5-frame nuke box, the rest of them started marching pretty quickly, and very soon all the bees were into that box and I moved them into my apiary. In those first 2 months, that colony was doing fantastic. It was now using 10 frames. It had doubled in size. It was now time for those bees to move into a bigger house. As I'm setting up their new home, I don't realize, but I'm putting the screen bottom board in the wrong way. Off camera though, at the end, once everything was done, I did fix it. Once we start opening that double nuke, we're gonna start removing the top frames. And what we're gonna find right away is some freshly drawn comb, that light yellow color. We're gonna find some nectar, a little bit of capped honey, a decent amount of eggs, and brood. As I start moving the frames over, I'm gonna place on either end of the deep box the frames that have the least amount of comb, and I will keep the center of that box for the frames that have brood. Every now and then you'll see me shake the bees off the frames, and this is also what I'm going to be doing right now on the top part of that nuke box, the second nuke box. As I'm moving the frames over, I'm trying to inspect every single frame as thoroughly as possible. I'm looking for brood, I'm looking for eggs, I'm looking for larvae. I want to see what condition they are on, if they're well fed, if they're shiny, if they have that jelly around, if everything is looking good, if there's any cap brood, if the capping looks like it's in a good shape. I'm doing this on every single frame. The medium frame I'm pulling out right now, the bees have built a bunch of comb all the way underneath, and they've been loading it. It's full of cap brood, but for the time being, I'm going to leave it as is. Now, when I'm ready to put a honey super, at least that's the plan I have. When I'm ready to put a honey super on, I will move this frame up and cut the bottom part of it where that comb is. So at this point, just 2 months after catching that swarm, I'm pretty thrilled with the way this colony is growing. I'm seeing a lot of beautiful things in that hive, and I have really high hopes for it. As I'm moving those frames around, I see the queen. She still has that green dot on her. I marked her. The year was 2024. The color for that year was green, and I've seen her through the frame as I was moving them. So it looks obvious to me that the queen has been keeping very busy. She's been laying a lot of eggs. Every spot available, every cell available in this hive, she's been putting eggs in it. The brood looks really healthy. The pattern of that cap brood is awesome. And I'm really, really very hopeful for this colony. So at this point of the video, you're probably wondering, why is the title Struggle to Survive? Well, simply because in the months that followed, all the way to September, the colony was thriving. Eggs, larvae, capped brood, resources, capped honey. But then, as we're entering the month of October, things got different. It was a complete 180 degrees. Now, whenever I would inspect this colony, I would hardly find any eggs, brood, or larvae. The population was declining quite rapidly. I was considering reducing it back to one single brood chamber, just like you see here. One deep box, 10 frames, no honey supers. But would that be enough? Would that be a good strategy? Was that the best strategy? Or were there other options, better options? So what do you think, friends? Would you have done it any other ways? Please let me know in the comment section. All the answers in our next and last video of that series. But for now, let's just get back to our video as we're just about to transfer the last one of the frames and getting ready to close those boxes and transfer some of the bees that are left on that nuke. After that, The bees that are still in the air will start flying into the box, and the bees that are still left in the front of the nuke will start walking into their new home, and we'll be done. Thank you for watching, and see you next time on Buzzing Backyards for the third and last video of that series.